Fox, thank you all for testifying. We appreciate it. The former governor of Indiana, Mitch Daniels, had a saying, and it was, "My job is to grow the disposable income of Hoosiers." Governor Daniels had that quote put up actually on the door of each of his cabinet secretaries' offices. When I served as revenue secretary for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I truly shared this vision and spoke to my department and other cabinet members about the importance of that role. Government does have a responsibility to help competitive businesses and their families flourish by creating an environment for opportunities for all Americans to achieve economic prosperity and help improve family-sustaining wages. However, history shows and data that I review proves that when government takes an overreaching posture, there are, unfortunately, unintended consequences. So I'll start with Mr. Eakin. $15 minimum wage would have the largest impact on small businesses and on young people entering the job market. 2.6% of employees at small businesses earn the minimum wage. Large businesses, it's a little bit less, 1.5%. I represent a rural, hardworking district in Pennsylvania with thousands of small family businesses. I fear that these small businesses in my district would be negatively affected in the event that a $15 minimum wage was implemented. As someone who helped myself grow a small business into a large business that has a minimum wage much higher than the minimum, I think, as most companies do, an implementation of a $15 minimum wage would put tremendous pressure on small business owners. I would think that the business would first attempt to raise prices, which is very difficult to do in competitive markets, global markets. Next, the company would be forced to cut staff, letting go of workers who had done nothing wrong. And when that still wouldn't be enough, business owners would be forced to take away raises historically given to employees who had worked with the business for a longer period of time. And then after that, just be concerned with survival. Can you outline, Mr. Eakin, how historically small businesses have dealt with government-mandated minimum wage increases?
Well, you've walked through the logic. It's the same logic I discussed earlier. There aren't many places to go. Right? You raise prices, lay people off, don't hire new people, don't give raises, squeeze your payrolls wherever you can because you must. And small businesses have the least capability to survive them. And so, you worry about the impact on them. That's part of the cost of this policy. Now, the emphasis has been on the benefits, but what I wanted to emphasize was if you have a job and you get this raise, that's the good news. The bad news is only under 7% of those benefits go to people in poverty. And so the notion that this is an effective way to provide the benefit of poverty alleviation is vastly overstated. It's a poor instrument for that, and it has significant costs to sectors of the economy like the small business and sectors of the labor force who are young and unskilled or least educated. And that's the unintended consequence that I think has to be focused on.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the Seattle study, and it's certainly quoted often, but not only were there job losses, but even the workers who kept their jobs had their hours reduced, which more than offset any pay increase. As a result, my information says the earnings went down $125 per month for those workers who kept their jobs. Are these the kind of trade-offs Congress should keep in mind when considering an increase in the minimum wage?
Yes, absolutely. But I do want to say, I admire Seattle because they decided to check on the success of their policy. I think they're to be lauded for that. And these are very carefully done series of studies. There are other studies which can test results. That's the way you learn. I applaud that entire effort. But there's a big difference between Seattle deciding to do that, praying that I'm wrong. Those impacts happen to Seattle, and that's their decision. It's very different to do it at the national level, and that's what's being proposed.
And as well, on a national level, the economies of scale clearly are different from one area to the cost of living in a city. Yeah. So that in itself answers doing such a mandate nationally.
I agree.
Thank you. I yield back my time.